Hello and welcome, I'm Saffron from saffrondominises.com, and in today's EFT video we are going to be looking at fears around driving. So if you have a fear around driving, you may or may not know where that comes from. I had a fear around driving for a long time, and it's something that I am healing from gradually, and I do a lot better than I used to. And there are some situations that still cause me a bit of anxiety. So if you know where that came from, then that's going to be the event that you go to. But I would also say be open about it, because my feeling was that I knew where it came from. On my very first drive without my driving instructor, after I passed my test, a lorry went into the side of my car. So that was quite a major trauma, and that's what I worked on and wondered why my fear hadn't gone away completely, because I felt that that issue was as cleared as it was going to get, and obviously I still remember it, but it doesn't traumatise me the way that it used to. I did have another accident where somebody went in the back of my car, and I worked on that as well. So when we think of traumas, we think of those kinds of things, accidents and, knocks and scrapes and things. But a trauma it's an emotional experience, so you can have the same strength of emotion around something that doesn't cause you all of the practical nonsense that goes with having an accident and having to deal with that. So my realisation much more recently was that I had another trauma, and the situation that I'm in now is I live halfway between York and Newcastle, and driving south is fine. I can go to York, I can go further than that, I can go anywhere you like, going further south than where I live. But to go north terrifies me. To go anywhere near Newcastle really terrifies me. And I did that very recently and realised that I had a big trauma doing that. And it was just the kind of fear around driving into a city centre that I didn't know. I was late, my kids were in the back of the car screaming, and it was really stressful, and I had a panic attack on the Tyne Bridge while I was driving in heavy traffic, and that was at least as much of a trauma as the other things. So while we're tapping, stay open to what may or may not have happened for you, and don't assume that you know the cause just because there's an obvious big incident in your past. Be open to the possibility that it might be something else. So before we begin tapping, let's focus in on the fear, the emotion that comes up for you. Where do you feel that fear in your body? So for me, it's I tense up my arms like this when I'm driving, and I get this scrunchy feeling all around my neck and shoulders. So if there's a physical sensation like that, make a note of it, make a note of the intensity. Consider whether, what brings up your driving fear. Is it all driving? Is it driving on the motorway? Is it driving in cities? Is it going somewhere you've never been before? Is it parking when you get there? All of these details are really valuable and things that you can slot into your tapping script. So the tapping script that I'm going to give you today is just a framework, but you really need to fit your own details of your situation into it for it to have the maximum effect. So you can pause the video if you want to make a note of those things and scribble down anything that comes into mind, any incidents that you've had, the sensations in your body, all of the things that we've just talked about. And then we'll get to tapping. So we're going to begin here on the side of the hand, and all you need to do is copy off me and repeat what I'm saying. So we're just tapping gently. Even though I have all of this fear around driving, and it might come from some incidents in my past, that's okay. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I get really frightened about the idea of driving in, add in whatever it is, cities, motorways, whatever, that's okay. and I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Even though I'm really terrified about driving in certain places, and you can add in what it is again, that's okay. And I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And then we're going to move to the eyebrow and move around the points. I have so much fear of driving, and it really comes up at certain times. It's most prevalent for me when, for me it would be, I go to Newcastle. Add in your own stuff. And that makes me really feel anxious. I can feel that anxiety in my body. It makes me scrunch up my shoulders and neck, put whatever your own physical sensation is in the script. It makes me really tense up. All of this anxiety that I'm carrying, all of this fear around driving, I'd really like to let it go. I'd really like to be a calm and confident driver. But driving really scares me. Or at least certain types of driving do. I'm most frightened of driving when it feels really scary to me. And maybe there's some trauma from the past. There may be incidents in my driving past. I'm going to describe my incident, you can describe yours. I remember a time when I had to drive to Newcastle Airport. I got lost on the way and I stopped at a garage. I phoned my girlfriend for support, and that memory is really clear to me. Every time I pass that garage now, the same anxiety comes flooding back in. Then I kept on driving, and I came to the Tyne Bridge. I was really stressed and really late, and I had a panic attack in heavy traffic on the Tyne Bridge, with my kids in the back of the car. And now every time I end up on the Tyne Bridge, all of that panic comes back to me. All of that fear and anxiety comes flooding back. But that incident is over now. You can join back in with my words at this point. That's all in the past. I'm no longer late or stressed. There's no one I need to collect from the airport. I can take my time and find my way. And I no longer need to feel this fear. There's nothing scary about the Tyne Bridge. There's nothing scary about driving. And I'm choosing to let go of this fear. Take a deep breath. Tune back into the situation that brings up the most fear for you around driving. And see whether that fear still has the same intensity. So I went through my own issue in detail so that you can see how to break it up into sentences a really good way of doing it is to just write the story of what happened and just read it out while you're tapping at the points. Just read a little bit of each sentence at each point, and that can really help with figuring out which words to say at which points. So if your anxiety has dropped, then that's really good. Test it out in real life, go do some driving, see how you feel, and there is just no need to be afraid. It doesn't have to be a scary thing. So I hope that was helpful, and if you want to get in touch, you can contact me at saffron@saffrondominises.com. You can contact me through the Facebook page, through the YouTube channel. You can go on my website, which is www.saffrondominises.com, and I look forward to hearing how you got on with that and whether it was helpful. Bye bye.